So you may have already seen the trailer for it. I put it up on my channel as soon as I could. At the Xbox Bethesda showcase, just like I've been predicting, we saw the release date for Grounded 1.0 and it's coming in September. So I'm going to break down that trailer, talk about all the leaks that I've been mentioning for the last few months, how many have been confirmed with this trailer and what we still have to look forward to. But oh my god, we've got stuff going on with Abominations actually being a creature we'll have to take care of in the game, as well as Mantises, Black Widows and more. So leave a like, make sure to subscribe for the best in grounded gaming news, guides and gameplay, and let's go. So we'll break down trailer as we watch it once more. We start off obviously with the animated section, and these are all along the same lines of the food and drinks we find in the yard, set obviously in like 1889 or even 1989. We have been missing for a while, so much so that it's got onto the news. Now I know some people will be excited about the inside of this place. Does that mean we're going to be going inside? The devs have been pretty adamant in the past that we won't be, so this may still just be part of the story in CGI rather than us actually exploring inside. So I've paused the screenshot and you can see we've got a brand new gnome in the game in the sunken water area. Anyone needs some coffee to keep themselves awake? That is a coffee percolator in the background in the upper yard next to the shed. No breeze blocks, or is it actually resting on the breeze blocks there? We do have confirmation of more rubbish area as well. You can see the black bags piled up at the top on the left, and then we've got a tree stump. It's returning, it's been in there in the game files and as part of the early game for ages, and then they suddenly removed it. In fact, it looks like that tree stump has fallen over sideways. There's a stump and then there's a part next to it. Then we've got the weird hedge above it. It seems to be gated off or blocked off by some weird panelling or fencing, and then we've got the brick wall above it, so that's very strange. Next section trailer just guides us through the beginning steps of the game. You spawn inside the case, you then go and fight off some ants, maybe a wolf spider, before eventually finding Burgle. Typical start for most of us when starting a brand new game. Of course, it will have all the story. 1.0 will give us a conclusion and a proper beginning with story beats all the way through. We then venture into the upper yard, and nothing really new shown off here that I could tell anyway, other than the pink thing on the second pagoda pond maybe, but this is brand new. The Mantis armor set has been confirmed. After months, me being the first person to tell you guys a Mantis was coming to the game, it has been confirmed now. We will be seeing the Mantis and the Mantis armor. You can see the players getting ready and getting geared up. We've got the Scythe there, that looks like it's going to be a pretty badass weapon, or maybe even a tool as well. Then of course it shows us taking on the Broodmother, which is kind of the end game boss at the moment, so maybe signifying that this really isn't the end game boss anymore, or won't be of course, since we've got Mantis and something else. And yeah, it is a full 3-piece set, 4 including the sky for the Mantis. Some more usual beats that you've come to expect playing Grounded, using the grenades obviously to maybe take on the Broodmother. That's what I did the other day to maybe not so great success, and then going through the infected zone. There's no new gear here that I can see, it's all pretty much the same stuff. They have said in a press release there will be new more tier items of course, and weapons, tools and more. But just going through the beats of all the biomes they've already added and the stuff we kind of expect. And then again, journeying through the yard, taking care of some of the creatures we've seen, and then meeting Burgle properly and giving him the super chips, highlighting obviously that that's really the biggest part of the story. Then all the laboratories that we need to explore, and again we see something as well where it's got phase 1, phase 2. I'm pretty sure that doesn't have that written on at the moment. And turning on the space art, and then brand new stuff. We get our first glimpse at maybe the undershed. Copper pipes, drain pipes, cobwebs and the Abomination. I said this ages ago when they first got added. I even theorised when I did a creature video saying that these guys might end up being something we face in the game. I thought it was just so weird that to have these guys so prominent on that chess set, and you lot all told me that it was from some Dungeons and Dragons game and it simply is just modelled after something else. That may be the case, but clearly it looks like to me it could be Wendell transformed. It looks like he's got the skin a little bit of one of the muscle sprouts. And something red around his arms and his legs. Could that be the berries? He's basically been mutated into some sort of super creature. Whoever this is, I think this is what the slot was for the case. Otherwise, it could be a whole set of new creatures too. But I generally think that's Wendell, just a one-off creature. Then more familiar stuff until our first proper glimpse at the Black Widow. And look where their home will be. It looks like it's going to be under the hedge at the moment. So have they maybe just revamped some of the spiders? Or yeah, this does look like it's going to be another one added to it. There's even a white spider I'm going to show you guys at the end of the trailer too. But yeah, Black Widow confirmed, making trips to the hedge even more dangerous. Expect to see the baby Black Widow spiderlings as well. Then we get Max in his barbarian gear. Definitely looks to me like they are maybe ox horns or maybe another creature that we're going to see later. But the eyes are a bit weird here as well. They do remind me a little bit of the ant armor that I leaked to you guys a little while ago, where it had these kind of jewels or circles on them. So are they going to be like the eyes of something that we can make into armor? It definitely looks like also they use either some sort of woolly kind of fur, or is that just more antlion stuff? Then more familiar stuff that you should be used to seeing, like the ladybird added to the game, as well as another trip down to one of the laboratories and facing off against the assistant manager. And we do briefly also see Burgle here on some monitors too. Nothing looks to have changed that much, other than these images will obviously, if they're in the game like this, be there new. But the boss fight here looks pretty much the same as it was always done. Feels like we're definitely doing this out of sync in terms of the levels or what ways to go through these laboratories. Not really anything on show in terms of maybe new building pieces or automated crafting, powered factory stuff or anything like that here. I'm so far slightly disappointed we've not seen maybe a reversible zipline feature or something to make to get us up ziplines rather than just down. But yeah, and then a focus obviously on it being the end of early access. The full story is going to be there. It will continue to get updates afterwards, I'm sure, and we're expecting maybe 1 or 2 little updates before the full release. More action with the laboratories and the story, pretty much telling you a guide to how to complete the game. And then probably the most exciting bit of all, seeing the Mantis confirmed, as well as maybe another laboratory. Is this actually going to be the undershed laboratory area and the place we saw before, maybe just some tunnels that maybe lead onto it? There's still a hell of a lot that we've leaked and seen over the last year or so that hasn't been confirmed in this trailer, so even more to come, and I'm sure it's going to be a lovely surprise for all of us. Does look like we'll be going through the wall of the shed to get in the laboratory there, and then we get action with the Scythe actually being a weapon there. See it doing pretty much a good amount of damage to a black ant attacking our base. And then here we go, the Mantis itself. It looks like it's under a hedge, but it could still be something like a terrarium, but actually in the ground, sunken or dug underneath. Remember, it has got some sort of stun effect using pollen to take you out, and it may even have mosquitoes as well as enemies. Either way, I do think it's going to be in that actual hedge right in the top corner of the upper yard. And I'm still going on that it's going to be in a terrarium, not a greenhouse or not just simply roaming around out in the wild. And then next, pay real attention to these credits or titles. Look at some of the imagery. You can see Burgle, you can see Chips, and you can see a big castle or house after the Abomination. So shout out to Discord, which has been going mad thinking about what this pink thing is on the second pagoda. It looks like they're right in some way. It does look to be either like a bucket shaped like a castle. So what kind of resources are we going to be gaining from that pink house, which will be situated on the upper pond yard? And then yep, a few new creatures I think here. In the bottom right next to the bombardier beetle, is that the green stink bug or is it something else? It almost looks like a giant scarab to me. It's just way too shiny. And then we have got what seemingly looks to be a white spiderling, but much bigger version, like a white orb weaver. It looks to be the same size as a stink bug. Now, to be fair, this does look like it's obviously been added a little bit of CGI to make it flow nicely. Maybe they just got some of the sizes wrong with this. But I would find that hard to believe a big company like Microsoft, even though Grounded are a small team making it, would allow that to go past. I'm sure the devs wouldn't either. So does that mean we're going to be getting white big spiders? And then what is this creature just above the roly-poly to the left of a mite and obviously the ox? It kind of smooches over the wood. Doesn't look to have big legs. I thought it might be like a baby orb weaver at first. So as you keep your eye on it, maybe it is just an antlion, and because it's outside we're used to not seeing it. But yeah, that seems interesting. Couldn't really see any other new creatures here though. It does look like the rest of them are all bugs that we know about. So far a no-show for anything like a silverfish, an earwig or wasps. But of course they will be expecting to save some stuff for the final update. Very excited about this, I can't wait. September's a perfect time, my kids have gone back to school, which means I can do as much content on Grounded as humanly possible. Strange though, no actual proper release date given as in September, and no big huge press releases. I've looked around, they've just given a few bits of info but nothing substantial. If I've missed anything, do let me know, but that's confirmed so many of the leaks and stuff I said to expect in the future. I just can't wait to see what this game has even more. It's fantastic, and I'm going to be there every step of the way. Until next time, Ratbags, laters.